One day, a fox became very hungry as he went to search for some food. He searched high and low, but couldn't find something that he could eat. Finally, as his stomach rumbled, he stumbled upon a farmer's wall. At the top of the wall, he saw the biggest, juiciest grapes he'd ever seen. They had a rich, purple color, telling the fox they were ready to be eaten. To reach the grapes, the fox had to jump high in the air. As he jumped, he opened his mouth to catch the grapes, but he missed. The fox tried again, but missed yet again. He tried a few more times, but kept failing. Finally, the fox decided it was time to give up and go home. While he walked away, he muttered, "I'm sure the grapes were sour anyway." A lion was asleep in the sun one day. A little mouse came out to play. The little mouse ran up the lion's neck and slid down his back. The lion caught him with a great big smack. "I'm going to eat you," the lion roared, his mouth open wide. "No, no, please don't," the little mouse cried. "Be kind to me, and one day I'll help you. I'm a lion, you're a mouse. What can you do?" The lion laughed very hard, and the mouse ran away. But the mouse was out walking the very next day. He heard a big roar and squeaked when he saw the king of the jungle tied to a tree. But the mouse had a plan to set him free. The mouse worked quickly and chewed through the rope. The lion said, "Oh, little mouse, I had no hope." "You were right, little mouse. Thank you. I'm free. You're the best friend there ever could be." One day, a lamb was eating sweet grass away from her flock of sheep. She didn't notice a wolf walking nearer to her. When she saw the wolf, she started pleading, "Please, don't eat me. My stomach is full of grass. You can wait a while to make my meat taste much better. The grass in my stomach will be digested quickly if you let me dance." The wolf agreed. While the lamb was dancing, she had a new idea. She said, "I can dance faster if you take my bell and ring it so hard." The wolf took the bell and started to ring so hard. The shepherd heard the sound and ran quickly to save the lamb's life. In a spell of dry weather, when the birds could find very little to drink, a thirsty crow found a pitcher with a little bit of water in it. But the pitcher was high and had a narrow neck, and no matter how he tried, the crow could not reach the water. The poor thing felt as if he would die of thirst. Then an idea came to him. Picking up some small pebbles, he dropped them into the pitcher one by one. With each pebble the water rose a little higher until at last it was high enough so he could drink. A group of frogs were traveling through the woods, and two of them fell into a deep pit. When the other frogs saw how deep the pit was, they told the two frogs that they were as good as dead. The two frogs ignored the comments and tried to jump up out of the pit with all of their might. The other frogs kept telling them to stop, that they were as good as dead. Finally, one of the frogs took heed to what the other frogs were saying and gave up. He fell down and died. The other frog continued to jump as hard as he could. Once again, the crowd of frogs yelled at him to stop the pain and just die. He jumped even harder and finally made it out. When he got out, the other frogs said, "Did you not hear us?" The frog explained to them that he was deaf. He thought they were encouraging him the entire time. The owl always takes her sleep during the day. Then, after sundown, when the rosy light fades from the sky and the shadows rise slowly through the wood, out she comes ruffling and blinking from the old hollow tree. Now her weird hoo-dash, 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 oh-oh-dash, oh-oh echoes through the quiet wood, and she begins her hunt for the bugs and beetles, frogs and mice she likes so well to eat. Now there was a certain old owl who had become very cross and hard to please as she grew older, especially if anything disturbed her daily slumbers. One warm summer afternoon, as she dozed away in her den in the old oak tree, a grasshopper nearby began a joyous but very raspy song. Out popped the old owl's head from the opening in the tree that served her both for door and for window. "Get away from here, sir," she said to the grasshopper. "Have you no manners? You should at least respect my age and leave me to sleep in quiet." But the grasshopper answered saucily that he had as much right to his place in the sun as the owl had to her place in the old oak. Then he struck up a louder and still more rasping tune. The wise old owl knew quite well that it would do no good to argue with the grasshopper, nor with anybody else for that matter. Besides, her eyes were not sharp enough by day to permit her to punish the grasshopper as he deserved. So she laid aside all hard words and spoke very kindly to him. "Well, sir," she said, "if I must stay awake, I am going to settle right down to enjoy your singing. Now that I think of it, I have a wonderful wine here, sent me from Olympus, of which I am told Apollo drinks before he sings to the high gods. Please come up and taste this delicious drink with me. I know it will make you sing like Apollo himself." The foolish grasshopper was taken in by the owl's flattering words. Up he jumped to the owl's den, but as soon as he was near enough so the old owl could see him clearly, she pounced upon him and ate him up. Flattery is not a proof of true admiration. Do not let flattery throw you off your guard against an enemy.